Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Monday, January 24th, and this local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow you. Michael Walker was scheduled to be sworn in as Bunnell's new police chief today, but now he's walked away from the job.
He just withdrew his application. He just said for personal reasons.
City Manager Alvin Jackson was asked by WNZF whether Bunnell should disband its police force and let the Flagler County Sheriff's Office do the job.
I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to address that. I mean, basically, we are moving forward. At this point, we have assessed where we are with the police department and where we need to go. So at this point, Bunnell has a police department, and the mayor and the commission has expressed continued support.
Jackson says they'll press onward in looking for a new police chief. Interim Police Chief Brandon Sneed has already said he won't do the job any longer and is heading back to Tallahassee. The COVID-19 picture is improving in Flagler County. Amy Cherry has more.
Dr. Stephen Bickle is the county's medical director.
Our weekly case numbers were down a little bit. They're down about 12%. It looks like we're crested. Florida, the data are even more definitive. Florida was actually down 33% from 430,000 cases to 289,000. So that's a substantial drop.
In his view, Bickle believes we're nearing the end of the pandemic.
It's getting harder and harder to argue that our policies should be different than how we deal with the flu. But certainly in a month, what I expect is our numbers are going to come down pretty dramatically like they went up. So, a month ago, we were at 172 cases 5 weeks ago. And I think 5 weeks from now, we could be at that same number. And when that happens, deaths are going to go up a little bit with a lag. That's what happened with hospitalizations. The hospitalization number is 44 now for Advent. It was 101 at the peak with Delta. They're still on green status. They're having fewer people in the hospital go to the ICU, fewer people in the ICU on ventilators. So all those things are good, and that translates to fewer deaths.
Bickle says if you're high risk or immunocompromised, even if you're vaccinated, you should still take steps to avoid contracting COVID-19. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Amy Cherry.
Unemployment reaches a nearly 2-year low in Flagler County, coming in at 3.8% last month, down from 4.1% in the month prior.
We've got some good news in the unemployment report that the number of people that are receiving unemployment benefits has declined. We have moderate job growth in December of 2021, and those two things are very good.
But Greg Blase, president and CEO of the Palm Coast Flagler Regional Chamber of Commerce, remains cautiously optimistic about the state of hiring in Flagler County.
Because as you can see from the latest employment numbers, the number of people in the labor force has declined, which is not a very good indicator, especially when you consider the open jobs that are available throughout Flagler County. From the business leaders that I speak to, they continue to have issues with hiring qualified talent to fill open jobs in Flagler County. So a lot of good news, but also some concerning news when you look at the data.
Blase reminds us that unemployment figures are often lagging indicators, at least a month behind the true picture. So the latest numbers don't include the impact of the Omicron surge.
Looking ahead, the Chamber will look to measure the impact in the next unemployment report on COVID in the workforce, because again, these unemployment numbers are lagging indicators, which means they're always at least a month behind. So really, these unemployment numbers don't include the impact from the Omicron spike that we are pretty much in the middle of right now. And also with inflation becoming more and more of an issue and interest rates rising, we'll be monitoring how this affects local businesses as well.
Homeowners with rooftop solar systems could lose much of the money they get for excess power if a bill passes in state legislation. Rich Petchke explains.
The measure modifies a program called net metering, where homeowners are paid for excess power that the utility companies then resell at retail. Proponents say rooftop solar installations negatively impact lower-income homeowners. 7th District Senator Travis Hudson says
these companies, like your power companies, your Florida Power Light, your Dukes, your Ticos, they are putting in infrastructure for every home, regardless whether it's on solar or not. And so it's costing them money to put in infrastructure for those homes. And then these homes get these solar powers, and obviously the cost of their bills go down, which was never contemplated in their business plan. So they're just saying if they're going to put solar on, we can't subsidize them on the front end and the back end. So we need to have a conversation about making sure that the subsidy isn't forever in perpetuity, and at some point we have to stop the subsidy of us putting in all of this infrastructure that others that aren't having solar are paying for through their rate.
The bill passed its first committee vote and is headed for the Senate floor. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Rich Petchke.
What was it like to be in the Marines in the 60s? A local veteran tells you his story.
Military veteran Horace Shoebank said he began his career in the early 1960s in Washington, D.C., and after that became a legal clerk in the Marine Corps.
Being a legal clerk in the Marine Corps, you really get to see the justice side of the Marine Corps and how easy it was to create an infraction in the Marine Corps or the service in general, because it's based on Uniform Code of Military Justice, but it's very strict.
Shoebank said that soldiers just getting started in their military careers had to be on time, but as they gained rank, they received more privileges. Horace Shoebanks is now a retired Master Gunnery Sergeant in the Marine Corps. You can listen to Common Ground on Sunday mornings at 10 here on WNZF and anytime on the Flagler radio app. Tomorrow we'll meet another veteran from another branch of the military. From the WNZF newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.